I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights, and you are watching Wonder Plus, your gateway to creative intelligence. Now, what this is my premium content program, okay? And what I do here is I use astrology, okay, to go over the birth charts of politicians, of celebrities, of places and cities and states and things like that, to just give you some new and some different insights into what is going on with these people, where they're coming from, okay, and where things are going in the future, all right? And to give you just some different ways of thinking about things and help you understand things better and put them into the right perspective, okay? So that's what I am doing here, okay? A big reason why I'm doing this is because if I could have any job in the world, all right, for me, it would probably be to be a political consultant, okay? To work on some kind of political campaign or in some kind of administration of a political candidate, where I would basically be their astrologer and give them astrological advice on how to deal with big issues, how to write speeches, and how to prepare for some things that may be coming up, okay, that they might have to look out for, okay? I don't know why, that just seems like a dream to me, and to help our politicians just govern our country better and work better with the people, okay? So that's my big thing that I really want to do, okay? So that's what this is all about, moving forward, and what I'm interested in. Now today, on this week's episode, we're going to be talking a lot about Houston. That's what this is about today, about what's going on with Houston, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware of just the devastation that is happening there because of Hurricane Harvey, okay? I am very sorry. My heart goes out to all of you in Texas, and especially in Houston. I hope you are okay and that you are safe, okay? And what we're gonna do today is look astrologically at why this has happened, what caused this, and what this all means, okay? So that's what we're doing here today. Just, of course, to give you some more context on the situation and to fill you in and just give you some more information to empower you. I do want to talk about which chart I am using to make these judgments and predictions, okay, and how I got there. Now, the chart I am using is going to be a birthday of August 24th, 1836, okay? It's kind of interesting when you do the birth charts of places, because it's very, very hard to find a birthday, okay? And that's very difficult for astrologers, because birthdays and times are very important to us, and one little small difference can change the accuracy, okay? Can make the accuracy not be there, which is what can make me doing this a little risky, considering I don't have the right time for Houston, okay? But I'm still gonna use one. I'm gonna use August 24th, 1836. I think I just mentioned that. And the reason why I'm gonna do that, okay, is because I found that on an astrology database that keeps the information of all these things that go on with politicians and with places for astrologers to make it easier for them. It was also in a book by Mark Penfield, who collected the birth charts of major cities in the United States and some in Canada too, and compiled them together, okay? Even though they will on occasion update the birth charts and include changes to the birth charts based on new information, okay? But that's the time and the day I'm gonna go with. From what I understand, that was the day that the Allen brothers bought a plot of land, okay, that eventually became Houston, okay? And I don't know who they bought it from, but it was on August 24th, 1836. From what I understand, I believe that plot of land became Allen's Landing for a little while. That was what it was named. I think there is still a part of a neighborhood in Texas called Allen's Landing, but I think it was that purchase and it was that plot of land that really started Houston and really started everything else, okay? So that's what I am going with. Alternate accounts do have August 26th, 1836, 2 days later, as being the birthday of Houston, okay? But I'm not quite sure why that is. I don't know if they made the deal on August 24th and then they just got around to signing the contract on August 26th, or word reached town on August 26th. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I'm not quite convinced that 2 days is going to make that big of a difference either, especially when I'm looking more at the slower moving planets anyways, okay? So that didn't really mean that much to me, the discrepancy there. And then the other date that I found was June 5th, 1837, which I believe was when Houston became recognized by the state of Texas as a city, or became became incorporated, okay, and I could use that date as well, but I looked at that date and it just didn't look right to me. It looked a little too happy for what was going on right now, so I'm gonna use this chart instead. And we're gonna go with this one. And all of you who are familiar with Houston, I've actually never been to Houston or Texas, you can maybe let me know if I'm right about some things that are going on with your city and that have gone on beforehand, okay? So I think that is what we have got going on there. Now, before I get into it, I just wanna say, happy birthday, Houston. What a way to start your birthday, okay? But here we are, and this is what's going on, all right? What's happened is that we just had a solar eclipse. I'm gonna start with that because the solar eclipse is the last biggest thing to happen astrologically. Solar eclipses are huge. They stick with us for 6 months, okay? So no matter whose chart I'm doing, I'm looking at how the solar eclipse hit your chart, okay? And especially when it comes to big events like this, all right? When it comes to Houston, we had a solar eclipse right here at the end of Leo, 28 degrees, okay? What else is close to 28 degrees Leo in Houston's chart? Their sun, okay? It's within 3 degrees of Houston's sun, okay? Which means there's gonna be some kind of huge new beginning in regards to their identity, the identity of Houston, who Houston is, how people see their identity in some way, okay? I know I said similar things about Trump in the last video I did because he had a solar eclipse on his ascendant, and the ascendant and the sun work very similarly, okay? So both Trump and Houston, Texas are trying to really have some kind of new identity in some way, okay? With the 9th house here for Houston, it is again going to be something new, adventurous, I want to say different, something that the city has never done before in some way, okay? I normally interpret the 9th house in a very positive way, okay? So I would normally say that this new beginning would look very good for Houston, okay? I would say that. Going in there. Now, it's not entirely good for Houston because of some other things in the chart, and I will get to that in a minute, but I want to stick here on a 9th house sun, okay? Something to me about the 9th house is very lucky. Even planets that are in the 9th house to me somehow always end up turning out well. They just do, okay, with what's going on here. So I don't think that it's going to be so bad. I think that Houston is going to be able to come out of this and is going to be okay based on that, and that's just one of the reasons why. A 9th house sun, before I move on, can also bring a huge focus of a city that's interested in other that's interested in interacting with other cities and other states, okay? Maybe a lot of commerce going on with other places coming in and out, okay? Can definitely, I want to say, make it very diverse. It's a lot about religion, and beliefs are very important to a 9th house sun, as well as education is very important to a 9th house sun, and just interacting with a bunch of people from different places and different locations, okay? So maybe Houston as well has some of those characteristics, all right? That's what I see there. New beginning coming in with the solar eclipse, doing something new, different they haven't done before, okay? What made this new beginning a little bit harder than usual, okay, when things are looking so positive so far, is that this new beginning is going to be opposite Uranus, okay, for Houston. All right, and what that means, whenever Houston has some kind of new thing they want to do, okay, new travel, education, you know, something exciting or adventurous, there's always something like unexpected that comes out of nowhere that all of a sudden like prevents them from doing this thing or throws them off track, or that they didn't have to deal with before they can move forward, okay? So that's just like a theme that Houston kind of has to deal with, okay? And a lot of times it's some unexpected news or something of the sort because it's in the 3rd house, okay? So I think that was going on here, is that there was some kind of new beginning that Houston was trying to bring in, but there was some kind of unexpected thing that came up, throwing them off balance, okay? Bringing some instability, all right? Because it's the 3rd house, like I said, it was most likely news, also have to do with communication and journalism of some sort, because the 3rd house also rules journalism, and could also have to do with transportation as well, okay? Your highways, your roads, driving, subways, public transportation, something along those lines. Very unexpected that came up that involved one of those things, making this new beginning to do this new thing very difficult, okay? On top of that, the solar eclipse was in a quincunx to Neptune, so there perhaps was some confusion as well about their identity, Houston's identity, who Houston is, in some way, having to readjust to what is going on here, okay? This confusion probably had to do with some new thing that they were doing, and again, how they could build stability in it, as well as money and finances is a big thing, and just some kind of personal possessions going on, confusion about money and confusion about something very physical, okay? If I were to read this as a human being, the second house rules everything you can see, touch, and feel, okay? This iPad, my computer, this desk, okay? And when you have hard aspects to the second house, it's like all of a sudden you either can't afford these things or something goes wrong with your computer and with all your stuff and you don't have the money that you need, okay? So there's some kind of confusion about resources as well that the city is trying to figure out so that they can ideally have some kind of new beginning in regards to their identity going on there, okay? So that's what I see going on, causing a lot of this uncomfortable stuff. What can make this even more uncomfortable, okay, is that Neptune happens to rule Pisces, of course, you know, and Pisces is on the 4th house of Houston's 4th house, and the 4th house rules land. It also rules weather, okay? So whatever confusing thing coming up here about their resources and about money that has to do with the identity of Houston also has to do with the land and with the weather. Okay, so that is what is going on there. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. It's not all bad. I actually see some really good things for Houston happening here, and I see some really good opportunities. A matter of fact, I'm of the opinion that this event that is going on to Houston is going to allow the city to emerge, all right, with a better reputation, to be seen more authoritatively in the eyes of the nation, in the eyes of other states, in the eyes of people within its own state, and to be seen more as a leader, okay, who can overcome hardship and who can, you know, do the things that needs to be done to come out on top, okay? I think that's going to happen. The reason why I think that's going to happen is because the solar eclipse, even though it is in some challenging aspects that are very unsettling and destabilizing, it has some good ones too, okay? Those good aspects over here is the sun and a sextile with Saturn, okay? That's going to bring an opportunity for the city to do something new here and exciting, and to do it with other people, okay? And to do it with the legislators of the state, and to do it with their laws, okay? And to think in new ways about where the future of the city is, okay? I think this hard thing is going to allow the city to work better with people, okay? To really commit to doing it, to have the laws in place to do what needs to be done, okay? And to have new dreams about the future and where it's going. I think that's going to be good. Because it's Saturn, though, it will take lots of work to make this thing happen and to get right. People will have to do their part to make things better, as well as legislators as well, okay? I think that'll be a big thing to, of course, restore more stability to the place with Saturn ruling the second house. Okay, on top of that, we also have the sun here in a sextile with Mars too. So whatever it is going on, that's going to help bring this authority and help people work together to be seen better, because Saturn as well can bring positions of authority and respect, okay? There's going to be a lot of attention going on here on leading, on making things happen, okay, and on moving forward, okay? That's with sun in the sextile to Mars. Making this a very aggressive and a very strong beginning for the city, okay? The interesting thing, though, is that Mars here is in the 8th house of changes, of endings and beginnings. So it's almost like in order for Houston to do this new thing, what's going to happen, it needs to end something so that it can begin another. It needs to undergo some really deep and really big change, okay, in order for this thing to happen, all right? That is what I see going on, all right? And that makes it very interesting, because a solar eclipse in the 9th house would normally be very good and very positive, and I think it will be eventually, but it's just hard when you've got an opposition, a quincunx, and of course the 8th house also tempering the good things that can eventually come from it, okay? So that is what I see going on there, all right? On top of it, I looked at the progressions. Progressions are an advanced astrological chart where you take the birth chart and you move all the planets by one day of each year of the city or the person's life, okay? And the progressions also indicate that unexpected things and perhaps even some instability is a huge factor right now in the city of Houston, okay? Because we do have the progressed sun here on Uranus happening, okay, bringing up something very unstable about the identity. We also do have transit Neptune on the IC right now, of course, bringing confusion about home at Houston, about the land that it owns, about weather, something along those lines. Also coming up, some confusion about stability in that way, okay, also being a thing that's just been kind of waiting to happen, all right? So I think that's going on. Moon over here, progressed moon is on Mercury, so lots of communication going on as well in the 10th house about their reputation, about who the state or the city is going to be. I think that's a big thing. Also, it's a progressed full moon here, coming off of this is a big make or break kind of thing about Houston's reputation and who Houston is and how people are going to see Houston. And I'm telling you, I think Houston's going to be a major player, a big power broker, I'm going to say, in the country after this happens, because I think people are going to look at the country, or at the city, sorry, with a lot of respect, okay, for how they overcame this, how they worked through it, how they were dedicated to do what needs to be done. I think Houston is going to come out of it wonderfully, even though it may be very, very hard to do that and may take a lot of work, okay? To just talk about some dates here, I think that it's not going to start getting better for Houston until September 29th. September 29th, I'm going to write that here, of this year. All right, that's because we have a whole bunch of planets. You can see it because it's getting kind of confusing. In Leo here, kind of waiting to come through this troubling spot with the sun and with Uranus in Houston's chart, okay? And every time each one of these planets comes through Leo and into Virgo, it's going to trigger the same spot that's been very challenging and very delicate for Houston, okay? So that's why I'm saying it's going to be September 29th, because September 29th is when the last planet, Venus, is going to come through this spot for the year, okay, and finish with that. I think that's when all the bad stuff is going to be over and it's going to be more time to rebuild in some way, okay? I think it's going to take them some time after that, though, and I don't think that Houston is going to have fully hit the stride to feel as though they can begin to rebuild in a dedicated way, even though all the damage is done, until October 11th, okay? I'm also going to write that down. That is, if this chart is correct, because I'm not quite sure how accurate the time is, okay? But I see them beginning to rebuild in a very dedicated way around October 11th, because that is when transit Jupiter is going to conjunct Saturn right here, okay? And really help them to commit to doing something that is good to help rebuild, especially when it comes to lawmakers, legislators, politicians, and the people working together, okay, to make things better, bring more stability going on here, and just improve the identity of the city. Okay, so that's what I see happening there. If you want to talk about even further after that, I'm going to look at the next solar eclipse that's coming in. Which will be next February, okay, when that'll start to take over. And that solar eclipse is actually going to be right here. Oh, it's a little too far over. But it's actually going to be over here at 28 degrees Aquarius, exactly opposing, all right, the solar eclipse that just happened and their sun. And I think the next eclipse, which is going to happen in February, is really going to allow the city of Houston to start to rebuild again, okay, to make sense of this unexpected thing, okay, to come into a new chapter with this unexpected thing that has happened, to really commit to understanding it and to overcoming it, to moving forward on some things and building the reputation that it is that they want, okay? But they're going to have to deal with this unexpected thing still, and first, before they can then begin to move forward and see all the gains of this new identity and this new big, you know, reputation they're going to have of authority and leadership, which is what I think is going to go on here, okay? So that is what I see happening for Texas, all right? What else? Now let's go ahead and let's take a look. Sorry, I was looking at this. I didn't mention the 25 Venus here. It's actually going to be in a quincunx. So even though we do have this new beginning that's going to come working with this unexpected thing for Texas in February, it looks like they are going to have to get used to some kind of changes. They're going to be making more financial changes, perhaps, changes in relationships in some way. In a very practical way, I want to say with the people that they're going to have to learn how to integrate, how to communicate about, to talk about better moving forward, and maybe some problems with media here, understanding what is happening. All right, so I think that's going on there. Now, just to take a quick look with what is happening, I want to go to their solar return chart. Now, a solar return happens on their birthday every year. All right, this will be their solar return for this year, which happened on August 24th, 2017, which is the date I'm using. And it basically takes a snapshot of where all the planets were on the day that the sun returned to the spot it was at their birth. And I wanted to show you this chart because I thought it was super interesting, because we've got Saturn here, all right? And Saturn is a very hard planet, indicates a lot of dedication. Things usually go wrong with Saturn at first before they go right. And it's here in their 4th house of home, of stability, of land, and of weather, okay? Problems with weather, problems with land, problems, something along those lines is what is coming up that they're having to deal with, okay? In some way that could not be the most happy, because Capricorn over here rules the 5th. So I think that's a big thing. It could also be very confusing, this commitment that's very hard with land and weather for them, really trying to figure out how to work to better the situation and to build more stability going on there, okay? I think that could be hard. Again, it's going to lead to some big unexpected changes that are going to happen very quickly this year as well. Lots of stuff going on to just get right and get more comfortable with themselves, to overcome maybe being some hardship or something from the past, or being through a hard time. I think that's going to be a big thing, and eventually it's going to lead to something good here. I think it's going to be good, some good kind of stability or confidence or something emerging that wasn't there in the past, okay? I do think that's going to be good, even though there may be some intense feelings going on here about this weather situation and about things. I think there are some opportunities there to very much so be had, okay? So I just wanted to show you that going on. I could probably talk about this chart for a good bit longer here, but I don't want to take up too much time. So that's all I have for you today. I think Houston's gonna come out of this okay, gonna come out of it better than okay as a big strong leader moving forward, but I think it's gonna take hard work. I think it's gonna take dedication, and I think if anyone can do it, okay, Texans can do it, Houston can do it, and I think it's gonna be fine, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later. Hold tight, hold tight.